What we're going to do today is we're just going to make a quick chilli. Now, I've got to make this also for a vegetarian, so what I'm going to do is do the same base and then turn 2/3 of it into a meat chilli and keep 1/3 of it for the vegetarian chilli. So I'm going to start off with, I've got some sweet potato that I've diced, just sprinkled a few cumin seeds over it, dusted it with cayenne and sprayed a little bit of olive oil over it, and they now go in the oven for about 40 minutes until they're cooked through. So in the meantime, we just go in with our chopped onion and our sliced peppers, just on sort of a medium heat. This is really, it's quite quick and simple, but it makes a really nice chilli. And then we can go in with our garlic, just sliced. You can grate it if you want to. I just think it's easier just to run a knife through and just slice it. Just going to wait for that to come up to heat. So this is a great way, instead of having to do a vegetarian something totally separate, you can just start off with one base and then just adapt and add the meat to the rest of it, or you could do half and half. But at least you're not doing two totally separate dishes. So, if you have got vegetarian friends, they don't feel left out because you're all having chilli and they don't have to have a boring nut roast while you're all eating juicy burgers and things. Right, so that's just starting to sizzle. So we just want to sizzle these just for a couple of minutes, just till they start softening up a little bit. Now, most chilies have kidney beans in them. I don't use kidney beans, but you can use whatever beans you like, a tin of mixed beans. I use a mixture of cannellini beans and pinto beans just because I like them, but you can use whatever beans you want. Some people do prefer the traditional kidney beans, which is fine, it's just personal preference. And the same with the vegetables. In the vegetarian chilli, we're going to have the roasted sweet potato, but I'm also going to put in some green beans and some baby corn. But again, you could put whatever vegetables you want in. I quite like the different textures. I quite like the crunch of the baby corn. And the softness, but it makes a difference by roasting off your sweet potato, because that just gives it a beautiful roasted, sort of almost nutty taste. I suppose you could use butternut squash as well, actually. That would probably be quite nice. This is all starting to soften, so I just want to give it maybe a minute more just to start softening down. And the same with tomatoes. I've used cans of chopped tomatoes, but you could use just whole tomatoes and just give them a little mash down with your spoon if you wanted to when they were cooking. Right, so we've got a nice sizzle going on there. Lovely. So then we're going to go in with some cayenne and some cumin. Just stir that round just to get the flavour of the spices and to cook out the dried spice in there. That smells amazing already. So as I say, we're not worried whether this is cooked, we just want to start softening down a little bit, which that has. So now we're going to go in with our chilli. I've got one red and one green chilli. I always go for medium chilies, because I always think if it's not quite hot enough once it's made, I can just add a little bit of chilli powder. But I think if it's too hot when it's made, then you're scuppered and you're trying to adjust it and balance it to bring the heat down. So I think it's easier to have it slightly milder than you want, and you can always add a bit of chilli powder to it if you want it a little bit hotter. Right, that's nicely softened down. So now we go in with our beans. That's our cannellini beans. And our pinto beans. Nearly put them all over the hob. Just get a spoon to get the rest of those out. Lovely. Just give that a nice stir around. Perfect. Then we go in with our tomatoes. Like so. Now all I do now is just bring this to the boil, reduce it down to a simmer and cook it for about 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to divide this. So I'm going to take 2/3 out and put into a separate saucepan and keep 1/3 behind. So this will be where you split between it being a meat chilli and the vegetarian chilli. So I'm just going to get myself a saucepan, get myself a ladle. So this one's going to be my meat one because this is going to be the biggest one. So I'm just going to start my veggie one. You want to make sure there's enough juice in this one as well. That's actually probably more than enough for my veggie one and a bit more juice. So what I do at this point is, this is going to be my meat one. So I add in my browned off mince. This has been browned off so any fat has come away from it. Give this a stir. And then this will simmer and bubble away, as I say, for about half an hour. It's looking lovely. So that's that one that we'll put back on the heat in a moment, as I say, for half an hour. This one is going to be my veggie one. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to add our diced baby corn and our chopped green beans. Just going to get another different spoon because we don't want the same spoon that we've used for the meat. And the same, this is just going to be stirred around, brought to the boil and simmered for 30 minutes. Once it's been simmered for 30 minutes, we then take the sweet potato out of the oven, put that into the veggie one, stir it through and job done. So we'll come back when these have been bubbling away for about 30 minutes. So they've both been bubbling away for about half an hour and hopefully you can see it's all nicely thickened up, all lovely. That's my meat one there, that again is all thickened up and is all lovely. So all I'm going to do now is just take out my sweet potato. So we're just going to take out the sweet potato that we had roasting, like so. So this adds like a really nutty sort of texture to it, and it really is worth making sure that you've roasted this beforehand. So we just go in with some of the sweet potato. You can pop all of it in. Just give that another stir. There you go. And then you've got beautiful vegetarian chilli, and then we've got a meat eater's chilli as well, all in one go.